Yeah, you know what time it is. Your boy Short Lord. Giving a big shout out to Naga Apparel, Woodland 360. You know what I'm saying? It's the podcast. Make sure you tune in and get that good. You know what I mean? Yep. You know what it is. Boy Short Lord, straight out of Hamburg City. Now I mean, today I got a guest, a friend of mine, IQ Gray. Know what I mean? And then we're gonna talk about the poor righteous teachers. Cause I just seen the video from Wise Intelligent, and he actually he shouted you out. He told the people about how he started, how they started with their group, and you was a part of that. So I want you to elaborate on that. You know, give your point of view, how you seen it. Yeah, let's dive into it, man. Take me back to the beginning of them days. You know.
Word, peace. I want to say peace to Wise Culture. You know what I'm saying? He was on the show Lord Jamar, you know what I'm saying, online and things like that. And he was talking about a little bit of history, you know what I mean, from his bird eyes point of view. You know what I'm saying? From the facts that, that really happened. I actually was there, you know what I mean? So let's start it with how it all happened.
Yeah, take me to the beginning of things. You know how it started.
Well, he said, he talked about, different record labels and stuff like that and different things. But before I get started, um, I want to say something, right? Like that Northside Productions, which is Northside Records, kind of like, it was me, the owner, you know what I mean, president, which it was two more other owners, which was James Lee, which is the vice president of Northside Productions and Records, and Rohan Davis, the secretary of Northside Productions and Records, which is Northside Productions Incorporated, in Trenton, New Jersey, which was incorporated in 1988.
Okay.
I believe it was in June and July 1988. You feel me?
Okay, that's what's up. So
yeah.
Yeah, let's just take it a step further. So you say you created the record label in 1998. Did you had any groups before the Pro Righteous Teachers that you released, or
Well,
how
the
did you
group
go
that
about your business?
we released it. We released it our own music, which was Northside Productions in the north side of Trenton. We named our record label Northside Records, and the first release on that record label was called Verbal Abuse, and the B-side was called Everybody Get Funky. The beat on that was produced by Tony D, Verbal Abuse, and the B-side beat track was produced by me, Everybody Get Funky, which was Tismo T, James Lee, Rohan Davis, and me on production. And I believe T-Bone was the DJ at that time on that song and stuff like that.
So what about Tony D though? You know, like what was the connection between you and Tony D? Because like I said, I heard he was also a big influence on the Poor Righteous Teacher stuff at the beginning. So
Well,
what
Tony
happened, or
D.
how you got to know him?
Well, I got to know him because he did the beats. You know what I'm saying? He did the first beat we did on Verbal Abuse. He did like I said, the beat on there. We did that in his studio at his crib. And I knew him through, you know what I'm saying, through those connections and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying, through the hood and stuff like that, through the streets. But otherwise, Tony D was basically, he was a beat maker. You know what I'm saying? He made the beats.
You say he was Italiano, right? Italian guy.
Yeah, he was Italian. Yeah, he used to live in Trenton back in the day. I think they moved out in Ewan Township, in the outskirts, because their family had a, Italian deli, you know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of Italians live in Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And you know, on the outskirts. So they family ran a bodega type of store, like that made sandwiches and you know stuff like that. You
mm,
know breads and meatball sandwiches. You know what I'm saying, with Parmesan cheese and things and stuff like that. But all in all, I met him through the street connects. You know what I'm saying, through the music and stuff like that. Because matter of fact, he did beats and stuff like that for like other cats and stuff like that. Um, like when Wise spoke about Diversity Records, matter of fact, Diversity Records, I was the first. My release was the first release on Diversity Records. Matter of fact, I was basically partners with Tim Baylor on Diversity Records. You know what I mean? But I had decided, you know what I'm saying, to leave Diversity Records because I wasn't getting the share of the cut. Because actually, Tim Baylor got the idea to make a record label through me. Because he said, I'm gonna make a record label because we said we're gonna he was kind of managing us a little bit. I made him a manager. I said, well, you know, come and just do this for me and do that for me. And we did some recordings in some other studios and stuff like that. And Tim Beller was like, okay, well, if we're gonna release your stuff, why don't we put it on Diversity Records, which is my record label, because I was gonna put it out on my record label. That's how he came out. So we was kind of like a little bit partners, but he owned the record label. And if I wasn't getting a cut of the record label, I was like, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So I moved on and made my own record company and stuff like that, my own label. And that's how Tony D came, because he made produced a track called "Do You Want to Get Hyped" by um, by Marquise. You know, that got picked up by Mr. Magic or something, that got on a compilation and things like that was played on BLS, and things like that. But I've been doing hip hop for a long time in Jersey, back in the day, in the early days, with a group called the Mighty MCs. In the early day, which went on to be one of the Ghetto Boys, the original Ghetto Boys. You know what I'm saying? Prince, Johnny C. You know what I'm saying? Which is other brother, DJ Ready Red. Well, I was a part of that group. DJ Ready Red, Johnny C, and Rod D, which was called the Mighty MCs. But that's another story. And all in all, you know, Tony D was a beat maker. He made beats and stuff like that. And he was good at it. And he was a DJ for Duke Productions. You know, he was called the Italian Stallion. You know, the white boy that DJ in the all black, you know what I'm saying, you know, mind crushing hip hop group, you know, back in the day and things like that, you know.
oh, okay. And how you got introduced to the Poor Chicha guys, like Wise and Culture and them?
Well, I knew basically, you know, from around the way, you see dudes, you know what I'm saying? You see them around the way, you know what I mean? And Wise lived in he lived in the projects, you know what I'm saying? Culture lived in the projects, you know, you see them around the way. You know, they saw me moving around town, you know what I'm saying? Like a little hustler driving my motorcycle, whatever, and things like that. Cause I'm a little older than them, you know what I mean? They're younger. So I'm from a little bit, you know, generation a little bit older than them. And I just knew them. I just knew Wise as a young cat running around, you know what I'm saying, in the hallways and on the grass and stuff like that, until he got a little older and things like that. And Culture, you know what I'm saying, I seen him around, you know what I'm saying, hanging around with certain gods and things like that around the way, you know what I'm saying, because there's a lot of 5%ers around the way, you know what I'm saying. I want to say peace to all of the gods and, you know, and all the earth, you know.
Right.
All in all,
So okay, I get that point, and I mean that came a time when you guys really decided to work together. So how that came to be?
oh yeah, yeah. So what happened was we were releasing records, you know, on our record label and stuff like that, you know, hustling and stuff like that. Cause I'm from that culture, I'm from that life, you know what I mean? So we built the record label with that money on our own. And then I got approached by their first DJ, their DJ called the DJ Divine. He
Mm,
approached me and said, yo, we need some, you know, can you make some beats for this dude? He a dope rapper and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, I'll go and make you some beats. So I gave him a tape and stuff like that so he can hear. And next thing you know, a little while later, I didn't hear from him, and then he came to me with these quarter-inch tapes, and he said, "Yo, man, can you release these? You know, do what you got to do with them." So I took them, I listened to them, and then we pressed them.
So
You know what
that
I mean?
that's
We
that,
pressed.
that's actually what Wise was talking about.
Mhm.
He got his tapes back and he brought them back to you, and you used the one that actually pressed them up.
Yeah, I'm the dudes he's talking about, the street. You know what I'm saying? They took it to cats. You know what I'm saying? That was from, you know what I'm saying, by street means. They brought it to me, and it was financed by us, the streets. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Peace to Rocksteady. You know what I'm saying? Rush. You know what I'm saying, for being involved in it. Also back in the day, because we were all hustlers back then. That's where the financing came from. Myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And other cats behind me. You know what I'm saying? You know, my man's that was down with me and Rocksteady and Rush and all of us. You know what I'm saying? And but actually, I was the brains behind the record label myself. You know,
All right. How many records did you pressed up at the beginning?
I think we pressed up about two on the label. You know what I mean? You know what
The
I mean?
amount, like what, 500,000? What was it?
Oh yeah. Oh, you mean the amount of records? Yeah,
Yeah, the
about, you
amount
know
of
what I'm saying,
records.
the first amount, you know what I'm saying, about 500 to 1,000 or something like that. Because
Oh, okay.
you can't, press up no records, you know what I'm saying,
So
without.
what happened after that? Once you pressed it, did you took it to a DJ, or how the
Yeah. Well, what
process went?
happened was when it first got pressed up, we slid it over to Tony D, because Tony D was a DJ at a college radio station in Princeton, New Jersey called WPRB. You know what I mean? He was a DJ on his own station, and he already had released YZ on Diversity Records. Diversity Records, when I left Diversity, because the first release on Diversity Records was from the LQMCs. It was called Dreams Wish.
Mm.
It was on Diversity Records. That's the proof that I was the first release on Diversity Records, and I was basically a partner, but I didn't get a part of the label. So I just like moved on and built my own label, because Tim Beller, he did business in a that was in a in a in a streetwise way. People wasn't feeling, I wasn't feeling also on certain things, so I moved on. And basically, what was your question again? Excuse me.
So I see you brought it to a DJ, or how you got
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ball
yeah.
rolling?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Tony D played it. You know what I'm saying? Because YZ was getting played on his same radio station, and I took it to Tony D, and Tony D put it on and played it. You know what I mean? And it became a local hit, just like YZ was a local hit.
Mm,
Because YZ didn't live in Trenton. YZ lives on the outside of Trenton.
mm.
He's not from Trenton. He's from the outside of Trenton. He's from, you know what I'm saying? I used to, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And his part of his hood, he know me for what I used to do in his hood back in the day. You know what I'm saying? They know me. And make a long story short, um, Tony D put it on the radio station, became a local hit. And that
Mm.
local hit, started making people hungry, and they wanted the cassette tapes. So I took that record from local and went up to Red Alert and gave it to Red Alert in Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? I got on the train and, you know what I'm saying, and went to, you know what I'm
So well,
saying?
you know Red Alert from? Do you know them before, or?
Yeah, I knew him from before. You know what I mean? I knew
Okay.
Red Alert because I used to go up there and give him my vinyls on the record label. I knew it from 2 times before. Like when I took my vinyls up there. And he was like, if I like it, I would play. If he didn't like it, if you didn't hear it on the radio station, that means he didn't like it. So I took vinyl up to him before that he didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Like he felt that didn't match his program or his theme or whatever as far as hip hop was concerned.
So
You know
you
what I
say you
mean?
tried it again, and this time you were successful with it.
Yeah, yeah. I tried it again, and then 2 weeks later, I heard it on Kiss FM. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
He was a DJ at Kiss FM, and back in the days, you only heard hip hop on the weekends. It wasn't like it
mm,
was the day, like how it
mm.
was the day. The radio DJs were only, they will only get airtime on the weekend. You know what I
What,
mean? It's
what
not
what
like
about
today.
What about Jersey? I mean, you say you was living in Jersey, but you brought it to New York. So Did you guys had the chance to listen to it? Was it broadcasted that far, or was it just a New York thing,
No,
like
you
the
can hear
radio
Kiss.
station?
You can hear Kiss on in Trenton.
Oh, okay,
You
okay,
can hear Kiss. I mean, we live in Jersey. We right there. You know what I'm saying? It's a little ride, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? About an hour ride, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But
so you could say Kiss FM was already a big station back in the days then around
Kiss
that
was the
time.
big station. Yes, Kiss FM and BLS too. You had two radio stations. You had Kiss FM, BLS, and then you had Power 99 in Philly. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? We were
mm.
between Philly and New York. You know what I'm saying? We was between both of it. You know what I'm saying? So we got everything from both. You know what I'm saying? New York was a little bit further, but it wasn't that far, and Philly was much closer. So we
All
between.
right.
So I heard a lot of Philly hip hop and a lot of New York hip hop. In between, we was in the mesh of it, the mix of it. So I know a lot of different groups from back in the day that wasn't. That's not even getting the props that they should get, like they supposed to get, because they were early hip hop cats too. Like like for example, you got Schoolie D. You know what I'm saying? You got the Tough Crew. Man, a lot of cats that came out of Philly back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I remember Will Smith right before he popped off. You know what I'm saying? We was hanging out like in the park and all that other stuff. It was a lot of crews, different shows, Fresh Fest. You know what I'm saying? Stuff happened in different areas. But anyway,
So what happened after that blew up in New York and stuff like that?
yeah.
Like
Well,
the
when we
street just
took it,
bubbling.
yeah,
What
it
happened then?
bubbled. What happened was I took it to Red Alert. We put it on the radio, and it just blew out of space. A lot of stuff started happening. Then I got this call from Profile Records. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard that um, Red Alert had gave the record to Profile Records Corey Roberts, the president of Profile Records, and they called me and they wanted to make a deal with me with Pro Righteous Teachers. So I negotiated a deal. I had negotiated a deal, and
Mm.
I really don't want to disclose or discuss the deal, but I was still in control. Still in control of making that deal and everything, and negotiating the deal with them through Northside Productions Incorporated and Profile Records Incorporated.
Mm. I get it. I get it. I get it. Um. Okay, so you guys got signed up with a profile. What about Queen Latifah and them? Was they already out there? Was they already
But Queen Latifah, she came out in 86, I believe. 86, 87, I believe. She came out independently. You know what I mean? And she was down with 45 King. And the first time I heard, I believe, conscious rap was through Lakim Shabazz, I believe. He should be getting a lot more props than what he get. You know what I'm saying? Lakim Shabazz, I believe he was one of the most early spiritual hip hop rappers. I don't know if he was 5%. I think he was probably from the Nation or something. I'm not absolutely sure. But you know, they from the same camp. I think it was the Flavor Unit. You know what I
right
mean?
Flavor Unit?
Yeah, yeah. They were more.
That,
They were more. They were more
that was the
northern
Queen
Jersey.
Latifah camp right there with
Right?
Apache and all them, right?
Yeah, I believe so. They were more northern Jersey. You know what I'm saying? We were more like central Jersey. You know what
Okay,
I'm
I get
saying?
it. Okay, I get it. All right, so okay, so you took the record to Red Alert. Y'all got a
Yeah.
call from Parati Records, and y'all got signed.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Excuse me. I know I'm still in there.
yeah, that's Woodland 360 right here for everybody
Yeah.
that tuning in right now. I got IQ Gray with me. He's the co-founder of Northside Records, where Poor Righteous Teachers released their first album on. So we just diving in and trying to understand the story. Yeah. So, like I said, a lot of people was influenced by the Poor Righteous Teachers. The way I heard, like the Fugees and KRS One and a lot of these guys. So, yeah, they should have definitely give you some credit for believing in the young wires and the young culture back then. So it's interesting to hear that story still. Is there anything you still want to add to the story, or
Well, there's a lot that I
how
can
how
add.
how did it end, or like yeah, what happened after that? After you signed that deal?
Well, you know, as a hustler, you know what I'm saying, I've been, you know, a lot of things was popping off, you know what I mean? A lot of things happened on the street and stuff like that. So, make a long story short, you know, I had left the country, you know what I mean? And I had did some stuff overseas and things like that, and continue to be hustling and doing what I do. And you know, I stayed in contact, you know what I'm saying, with lawyers, the lawyer that they, you know, whatever, and so forth, and things like that. You know, there's a lot
Okay,
of
I
things,
see.
you know, still, you know, I don't want to mention too much, but you know how I go.
Yeah, you know, the music business. You know how that goes sometimes.
Yeah,
But yeah, big up to Wise, you know, for mentioning your name. You know, letting the people know that you was really behind that first push. You know, so I'd say it's definitely love from both sides, and it's nice to hear both sides too. Like I heard his interview. I'm hearing your side of the story now, so you know, makes it this official. You know, like
yeah,
I mean, we talking about '88. That's like being 2020 now. You know, so it's a long
yeah,
time ago.
yeah. It
You
was
still
88,
active, he's still active.
88
You
when
know,
we made
hip
the
hop is
record.
still alive. You know what I mean? It's nice to see though. You know?
Yeah, it was 88 when I made the record label. You know, I was the one, because it wouldn't be no record label if I'd said I didn't want to make a record label. My boys, we just had money, but it was just like, you know, living. But I'll say, nah, we got to do business with this. And then I was the one that was pushing the record label. You know, the you know the people that was with me and stuff like that, partners and stuff like that, was dudes that we got money together. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, they were posses. You know what I'm saying? They were called posses. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? My posse, he was, you know, we did it. That's James Lee, you know, Rohan Davis, and a little while later, that was D Magic, Dwight, my homeboy Dwight. You know, I ain't forgot you, D. And further, you know, further on, there was a lot happening and stuff like that. Like they said, you know what I'm saying? Divine Land was where the gods resided. You know what I'm saying? A lot of gods, you know what I'm saying, was there. I want to say, you know, peace up to a lot of the gods that was there back in the day, you know. Um, it's a lot of brothers now I can remember, can't remember, but you know, I think you had C Justice, you had Power God, you had Culture Freedom. People, you know what I'm saying? That it's a lot of them back then, a lot of brothers, you know what I mean? It was serious, serious, you know. And then also you had the crack era. It was very heavy back then, you know what I'm saying? The crack times. It was back, the crack really popped off in '86. Like it really happened in '84, but it wasn't like booming like it was on the West Coast, really, I believe. But it really came heavy in '86, '88. You know what I mean? '87, '88, it really started popping off heavy. But actually it popped off. I remember, actually, I do remember it popped off heavy in '85. You know what I'm saying? Like from, yeah, you know, from experiences that I can't name. You know what I'm saying? But
No, it's all good. I understand. I
you
understand.
know, but hip hop itself, you know, I can go into deep into the stories, but yeah, I was there. You know what I'm saying? It was the reason, we was the reason why that record became what it was, and they came, and the reason why they became into to be what they are today, because we released their other things, released I released their records, negotiated their deals, and you know, and things like that. And
Yeah, it's
and
nice to
and,
see.
and
I mean,
passed
even
off hip
guys
hop.
like the Fugees, you know, said that was inspired by the Poor Righteous Teachers, and you see how far they took
Oh
it.
yeah, I know Lauren Hill. I know Lauren. I met Lauren, you know, and she told me herself that she was inspired by them, and also she told me about their style, because actually the style was more. We were more, you know. Trenton was called on the low Trench Town. You know what I'm saying? Because we were really into ragamuffin and reggae, real heavy. You know what I'm saying? And I can say what Wise said, that they're asking how he was inspired, and from my experience, it's like I think he was inspired by reggae, ragamuffin. You know what I'm saying? A
Oh,
lot of things.
you can clearly hear that in his rhyme patterns.
Yeah,
That's definitely yard style.
yeah. Because
One definitely has some
we
yard
were
patterns in it.
definitely,
You
we
know,
went to shows together. We watched Ica Mouse. You know what I'm saying? You know, together and stuff like that. I remember we go see Ica Mouse, and
Mm-hmm.
watching the style and little things like that and
Yeah,
stuff
man,
like that.
flex. Yeah, man. Yeah,
You
man.
know what
I
I'm
get it.
saying? So there's a lot of stuff that was going on that I'm not mentioning now, but I can go on and on and on and tell you about hip hop. But when it came to hip hop in Trenton, you know what I'm saying? If you go back in the files and look in the newspaper, I said that I was going to be the one that put Trenton on the map when it came to hip hop, you know what I'm saying, back in them days. And I was one of the real early cats in hip hop. Like I said, with crews and stuff like that doing it from in the early 80s, you know what I mean? Early 80s on.
And what about
So
Naughty by Nature? Did you guys
95,
ever had?
79. Yeah, go
What
ahead.
about Naughty by Nature? Do you guys ever had a chance to chop it up, or that came way
Nah, I
later?
was in when they came out. When they came out, I was already I had
And
left the country.
you was out in Germany
Yeah,
too, huh?
they came a little bit out. They came some years later. You know what I
Okay, I
mean?
get it.
So we from the like the brand Nubians and the real golden era, the heavy golden era, when it's like brand Nubians, Eric B and Rakim, um, um, X Clan, you know what I'm saying? Queen Latifah, Lakim Shabazz. If there's more that I'm missing, you know, you know, forgive me for that, but you know, but it was Poor Righteous Teachers. I remember when the Holy Intellect album came out, it was nothing like it, nothing, nothing like it at all.
I
You know,
mean,
when
being
it,
honest with you, like like Wise is a serious MC. Like his style is impeccable. So he definitely had that fire. You got to give him that.
yeah, yeah,
Definitely had.
he had it from day one. He didn't walk around, he didn't boast about it. It was actually, like he said, it was holy intellect, intellectual. He walked around like he wasn't rich. He was like coming straight from the gutter, you know what I'm saying? Strictly from the pissy hallways, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, you know what I mean? I'm from the Vine Lane, I know. You know what I mean? I seen him when he was nothing. You know what I'm saying? He come from zero to the point where when he got on the mic, it was just incredible from day one. It was no trying, no. I seen him go in the studio and drop jewels flawlessly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like before this stuff, they talk about Jay-Z. They talk about Jay-Z going to the studio. No, this cat would go in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Wise and telling him to go in the studio and not make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? And be done straight off the top. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you know what I'm saying? Style drop, lesson taught. You know what I'm saying? Word is bomb. You know what I'm saying? Because when the gods back in the day, you couldn't make no mistakes. You couldn't come and say you're going to build like you're saying you're a god and you go and start talking that and you didn't know your lessons. You know what I'm saying? That was automatic. That was automatic. How they say, you know what I'm saying? Down
Disrespect. Yeah,
cipher.
yeah, you violating if you're doing that
You're
shit.
violating indeed. And they came hard on you, you know what I'm saying? And these dudes, they were self-taught and they was definitely, you know what I'm saying, high. I don't say, well, I'm gonna say self-taught, but they had the mathematics, you know what I'm saying, the knowledge and wisdom and understanding about what they was talking about. Because you just couldn't come out and just be talking about anything, like coming to sounding all goofy. That's a beat down. You know what I mean? And plus you had, you know what I'm saying, you had hustlers, you know what I'm saying, slangers, bangers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was dangerous for you to come around, you know what I'm saying, up there, you know what I'm saying, and play that role and not whatever. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I'm IQ. You know what I'm saying? From the hood, I took care of business. You know what I mean? I handled my stuff, you know what I mean, as far as what I had to handle. And I just laid in the cut and just did what I had to do. When I was summons, you know what I'm saying? I did what I had to do. That was it. You know what I mean? And I
Oh,
was
good.
my own boss. Just put it like that. And still my own boss.
It's all good. It's all love. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's what
Ain't nothing wrong
life's
with that.
supposed to be. You're supposed to be your own boss and handle your own business. You know what I mean? Be about it.
Indeed.
But yeah, man, that's definitely a nice conversation. So now that people get to hear both sides.
Yeah.
Big up to Wise, big up to everybody. You know what I'm saying? The old schoolers, the new schoolers, the break
Peace
dancers,
to Wise. Peace to culture.
DJs, the
Rest
MCs,
in peace.
the pimps, the hookers, big them all up. So yeah, man. Then I say, yeah, let's chop it up next time. It was a good
Indeed.
conversation here. I learned something. I think the people did too.
Yeah.
And big up yourself. Keep working. I know something
On it.
coming out soon.
Yeah, I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say rest in peace to Tony D. Rest in peace to Father Shaheed. Saying, I believe I heard that Power had passed away. You know what I'm saying? And a few other cats. Anybody that I didn't mention, may they all rest in peace. And also I'm letting y'all know that I'm definitely gonna drop an album in, 2021. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's that real life. It's that life. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna tell it how it is. Look forward to that. You know what I mean?
All
So,
right, bro.
peace to the world. You know what I'm saying? Hustle hard.
That's what's up. Yeah, man. Pick up yourself, man. Be chop it up soon. Short
Yeah.
Lord up here. You know the deal.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week again for a fresh round.
And I say peace.
Hey.